Hi everyone, welcome back to Dave's Whiskey Reviews. I'm going to do another one now. I think it's mystery review number 7. Again, another kind of blind sample picked from my collection here. So we'll have a bit of a look at this one and see what we think it is. Again, quite a light colour on this, probably about the same as the last one. I'd call that straw. Actually, it might even be a little bit lighter than the last one. Bit of a roll around the inside of the glass, have a look at the viscosity, which is looking like it's going to be a bit higher than the last one. Yeah, I would call that very high. So I think this one's probably a bit of a higher strength, maybe cask strength. That's an interesting one. Very, very different in style to the last one that I just had. This one definitely smells quite young, I would say. For me, I get this kind of bubblegum type of notes. Often when you can smell the spirit from the distillery, what they call the new make spirit, that's come off the stills, that hasn't been maturing that long, you can still get that kind of note. For me, it smells a bit like bubblegum. And you're getting that here. Yeah, and there's not much complexity there either. Yeah, even if you take a big smell, there's not too much going on. I think this one is still very, very young whiskey, just from the nose alone anyway. You're getting that bubblegum note, but not even, I mean, often with really young whiskies, you can still get this kind of note of lemon or green apple, quite common. You're not getting really any of that here. Very slightly floral, maybe. You're getting a kind of slightly flowery note. Some slightly sort of fizzy sweets as well, like when you open up a bag of those fizzy sweets and if you smelt the bag, that's kind of what you're getting here. Bit of an obscure note, I know. And a tiny, tiny touch of malt, but it's all very, very light, very subtle, very delicate. Let's have a taste. Yeah, definitely tastes young. Quite malty. It's much more malty on the taste than it was on the nose, on the smell. Really get that coming through a lot into the finish as well. But it's quite a short finish. It's not particularly kind of lasting in the mouth. Yeah, you're not really getting too much from this at all. I mean, it's still very, very young whiskey. For me personally, I think it should have been kept maybe in the casks a little bit longer to mature and to develop. But if it has been matured in casks for sort of a reasonable length of time, I just don't think the casks were very active. They weren't giving a lot to this whiskey. Because you're still getting, it's not, I wouldn't say it's spirity, but it's clearly still very young. Yeah, really soft arrival. I wouldn't say it's not watery, it's not lacking strength, but it's just not particularly complex. It's a bit better coming into the kind of the mid palate. As it develops a bit more, you get that kind of maltiness, a slight sort of chocolatiness as well, which is quite nice. But in the finish, it kind of drops off again. So, I would say that this is probably around sort of 5 years old. But it's a single malt, probably from a Speyside distillery. I am going to go with, off the top of my head, very randomly, Strathisla. I haven't tasted much Strathisla at all. I think I've only tasted one, but the one that I have tasted is very similar to this. It's really, it was very, very young whiskey from a not very active cask. I think it's around 5 years old, 46%. something like that. So that, I think, is what I'm going to go with. It's one of these, it's kind of a young Strathisla. Again, an independent bottler, I think. The official bottling is about 12 years old and is much, much more mature, or I would have thought it's more mature than this. As I said, I haven't tasted it. But yeah, young Strathisla from an independent bottler, I think is going to be what I go for. I think the bottling I had was from Malt of the Earth. A little play on Salt of the Earth. Forget that. But let's have a look with the reveal, with what it is. Oh my god! Yes! Yes! I mean, that is what I'm talking about. Strathisla, 9 years old. It was a bit older than I thought, but it was a Strathisla. 9 years old from 2005, 46% alcohol. 9 years old. It does not taste like 9 years old, but this was the bottling I was thinking of. It is the Malt of the Earth 2005 Strathisla, 46%. Yeah, very, very young tasting whiskey, even for 9 years old. There are some fantastic whiskies at that age. 9 years, I think, is a fantastic age for some whiskies, especially peated whiskies. One of my favourites, Lechaig, does really well at 9 years old. Lefroy can be great at 9 years or even younger. Ardbeg is the same, Lagavulin the same. But Strathisla, yeah, maybe not so much. Maybe doesn't quite have that character to really pull off the 9 years old. Well, maybe just not necessarily from these casks, which, as I said, I don't think were very active in their maturation. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Another one for the chalkboard, another one for the scoreboard that I got right. So that's very, very good for me and good for my confidence. Can't believe I got that. It's really obscure. It's a very, very obscure bottling. It's just stuck in my memory, maybe. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and see you again.